name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So I am fighting a sore throat today, and I'm losing my voice as part of that. Otherwise, I feel perfectly fine. But I needed to film a video because I did not have a video scheduled or prepped ready for my next scheduled upload date. And so it is the 23rd today. I've just got home from work. And I'm hoping to have this video up for the 25th. I'm hoping the sound is going to be okay. I might have to turn it up a bit. You might have to turn it up a bit than normal, but we'll see. I do have some coffee that I am drinking because I am not a tea drinker. And this is a mug that I got from my best friend Christine, who lives in Alberta, and me, who lives in Ontario. And because one drink isn't enough, I also have some iced tea that I am drinking in my Dunkin' Donuts tumbler. Okay, so today I am going to do the book name book tag, or my name book tag, and I'm going to do this very quickly, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about these books. I saw Lindsay from BFCG do this video, and then just yesterday Amanda from Book Lover Amanda did this video, and I was like, okay, I need a tag video to do something easy, and hopefully I can keep this short. I'm going to do my first name, Jeanette, and along with my channel name, Jane Reads, because I decided to make it difficult on myself because one J wasn't enough. I needed to do two J's. There's not a lot of books that start with J. However, I have read more than I thought I had. And then, because my first name has 3 E's, and then Jane Reads has 2 E's. So I just made things really difficult on myself. But we'll see how we go. Okay, for J, Jennifer by Dee Henderson. This is the prequel to the O'Malley's series. You do not need to read it before the O'Malley's. It's actually recommended that you read books 1 to 6 first and then go back and read this one because it was published after the other ones. Now you can read it before, but Jennifer makes appearances in all 6 books, and she has a kind of a large impact on the siblings' lives in all 6 books. So yeah, it's nice to have her know more about her herself. E. Embers in the London Sky by Sara, Sundin. Historical fiction set during World War II in London, England. We are following the main character who comes from the Netherlands into London, and she is searching for her son who she was separated from, and we follow that. A. Aftermath by Terri, Blackstock. Romantic suspense. We about a bombing that happens at a concert. We are following one of the attendees at the concert and somebody who has been arrested for being involved in the bombing. N. No Ocean Too Wide by Carrie, Turansky. This is book 1 of the McAllister family. We are following some siblings who have been separated. It starts out in London. It is historical, 1909. And the older sister is working away from the house. The younger siblings get sent to Canada through events that happen. The older sister comes to Canada to try to find them. We are following, I think, all perspectives of these 4 siblings. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. And yeah, I loved it, and it taught me about a time in history that I didn't really know about. And yeah, highly recommend. E. The Edge of Belonging by Amanda Cox. It is a dual timeline. We are following Harvey, who is a homeless man who has found a baby and takes in that baby and tries to care for it, but as I said, he's homeless. How does that happen? Then in the present day timeline, we meet Ivy, who we quickly discover is that baby. And so we're trying to find out their story. How did they get here from here? And I loved these characters, and Harvey especially had my heart. T. To Steal a Heart by Jen Turano. This is book 1 of the Bleecker Street Inquiry Agency series. It is historical, set in New York. Yes, New York City, 1886. And we see the startup of the inquiry agency and how that all comes about. And the secondary characters in this were the ones that I really rooted for. Like, I loved them. T. Trial and Error by Robert Whitlow. This is a legal fiction where we are following a lawyer who has dedicated his life to finding missing children and reconnect them with their parents. And we discover why this has become his mission for that. And just seeing that all involved, there's his personal mission of why we're learning, but then he's also working on a case. And yeah, I especially, again, I loved Buddy himself, but some of the side characters, there is one side character in particular who loves God and makes it a priority to do devotions every day, to write in her prayer journal, share those prayers with others. And yeah, she was inspiration. E. The Esther Paradigm by Sara Monzon. This is a marriage convenience between a missionary kid and somebody who is a leader of a clan in Africa. And how does that come about? Why does it come about? And how can their two backgrounds kind of come together to create? Or how will they work together? I really enjoyed this. And it was really interesting to learn some of the African tradition that this man has grown up with. J. Justice by Emily Conrad. I read this a number of years ago. This is on my Kindle. And this was Emily Conrad's debut book. And wow, some tough topics addressed. It is a contemporary romance, but it is a hard-hitting contemporary romance. We are following this male and female character. I cannot think of their names, but they the guy thinks like he's meant to be with this woman and they will get married someday. And then he finds out that she's pregnant. And is she innocent, or what happened? And just following this storyline, I loved it. And it shows the dangers and the hurtfulness that gossip and rumors have. And yeah. A. All We Thought We Knew by Michelle Shocklee. Now, I very recently read this. I think I read it in April. I absolutely loved it. This was my first book by Michelle Shocklee. It is a dual timeline, but both historical, in 1942 and 1969. And we follow the character in 1969. She's lost her twin brother and left, and now it has returned home because her mother is dying. And then we follow the 1942 timeline through the start of World War II. And how do these characters connect? This really touched my heart. N. Never Fall Again by Lynn H. Blackburn. This is book 1 of the Gossamer Falls series. It is a romantic suspense. However, there is very little suspense and a lot of romance in this book. It is a single mother with a 6-year-old and a single guy. And the guy will not get involved with somebody who has kids due to something that's happened in his past. And we're just following that. The family dynamics in this, especially for his family, and there's his parents, his siblings, his cousins, so entertaining. And I was so rooting for the relationship as I get to know these characters. R. Relative Justice by Robert Whitlow. Another legal fiction following a family of lawyers. We have the Cobb and Cobb law firm, and then the daughter-in-law of the other son is also a lawyer but out of state. Something happens, they ask her if she will come and help, and we are following kind of their court case and the family dynamics of that. And some of them believe, some of them do not believe in God, and by the end, will they all? The only negative I have for this book is the legal case. You're dealing with a patent on some type of drug stuff, that some of the scientific stuff was above my knowledge and I was not understanding, but I did not care that much because I loved the characters and the family relationship. E. Evidence of... Oh my gosh. I skipped an E. Okay, let's do this one. Let's go back. Evidence of Mercy by Terri Blackstock. This is book 1 in the Suncoast Chronicle series, and it features another lawyer. And Linda has gone through something and she must sell her plane. She goes to sell her plane. This guy comes to take it on a test flight, and something happens. And then we follow that, and it is a suspense with a bit of romance happening. It's a number of years ago that I read it. I read it 2015, and I gave it 5 stars. So, yeah. Okay, E. The Extraordinary Deaths of Mrs. Kipp by Sara Brunsvold. This is her debut novel. It is a hard-hitting novel because we are following Mrs. Kipp, who is arriving in hospice care because we know that she is dying. And there's a young female journalist who has been assigned to write Mrs. Kipp's obituary. So we are following her get to know Mrs. Kipp. And while I enjoyed that side of the story, what I really enjoyed was Mrs. Kipp's heart and the way she was with a particular guy in the hospice and cared for him. She's going through her own situation, and yet she makes him a priority. A. Across the Blue by Carrie Turansky. Another historical fiction set in 1909. We are following a young aviator who wants to be one of the first guys to fly across the English Channel. Then the female character dreams of being a journalist. Her father owns a newspaper, but her mother and her father really you need to get married and do the woman's thing, because women were not journalists at this time of history. And I so connected with these characters and was reading for them. I loved it. D. Double Take by Lynette Eason. This is book 1 of the Lake City Heroes series. It is another romantic suspense. We are following Lainey, who something happens with an ex, and that's the opening scene. And then it picks up a period of time later, and maybe things aren't as they aren't as they seem. So many questions. Like, it is a psychological thriller for sure. Lainey is not sure what to believe at this point in time. I was so invested and needed to know, was Lainey going crazy or was things really happening? And we don't have the answers that we thought we had. S. Secondary Target by Angela Carlisle. This is book 1 of the Secrets of Kincaid series. This is Angela's debut book. She does have book 2 coming out this summer in July. It is another romantic suspense. We are following Corinne, who lost her mother and brother a number of years ago. Her and her father have moved to Kentucky, started a new life. She learns that her father has been keeping secrets from her, and now somebody is after her to try to figure out, and so Corinne is trying to figure out why. What was her father hiding from her? I loved the characters in this book. Okay, so that is a very quick summary of those books because I need to save my voice, but these are all books that I have read and highly recommend you give a try to. I want to thank you for watching this video today, and I hope you will like and subscribe if you're not already. And if you are, thank you for coming back again, and I will be back for a future video, hopefully very soon. Have a great day. Bye.